Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Power Distribution Systems online classes. This is lecture number 10 and continuation of previous lecture. In our last lecture, at the end of the lecture, we were discussing the polarity marking of transformers, and we have seen that the polarity on high and low side or primary and secondary side can be marked by using many notations, and dot polarity marking is one of them. And what is mean by this polarity marking? The polarity marking means if current is entering in the dotted end from the primary side, then this current will be exactly in phase with the current which is leaving from the dotted end on the secondary side. So primary and secondary either can be high or low voltage side. So that is true for all the three phases. Then I have discussed the case of a three-phase transformer. We have considered a three-phase core type transformer. So there were three limbs of the transformer core and high and low side winding for each phase is on each limb of this transformer. So core design actually impact on the impedance of the transformer. So that is an advanced concept. So we are not going into the detail of that impedance modeling of the transformer based upon the core design. Just we want to concentrate on this polarity marking. So now here the current in this winding, primary winding of phase A, will produce a in phase replica on the winding that is across the same limb of the transformer. Same is true for phase B, same is true for phase C. Next is how do we connect these three windings together in Y and delta in order to make a three-phase transformer. When we want to connect the windings in Y configuration, method is simply connect non-dotted end of a winding together that will make a star point like this. So this is the Y terminal, the star point of one side. So winding is connected in Y. In the same way, we can connect the non-dotted end of the winding together to make a star point. So this will become a Y-Y connected transformer winding. And if we want to make a delta, then procedure to make the delta is all the three windings of high side or low side must be connected in a loop, and that loop should be in such a way that dotted end of one winding should be connected to the non-dotted of the other. In that way we will have to make the loop. And here if I complete the delta connection here, this is the non-dotted end of phase A with the dotted end of phase B, non-dotted end of phase B with the dotted end of phase C, and finally this dotted end of phase A with the non-dotted end of phase C. This is a closed loop. So this is known as a delta. So then we take connection out of this delta point. This is first connection, second and third. These are known as line terminals of the delta. So this is how we make a delta. There are two ways to connect the winding in delta. There are two different types of the delta that we are going to discuss shortly. But here I just want to show you how we make the delta and Y connection. Next we have seen that in our previous lecture, in order to draw the delta Y, YY or delta delta connection of a three-phase transformer on the paper, there are three ways to represent those windings on high side and low side, because three windings belongs to high side, three windings belongs to low side, and now we want to connect the three winding on one side of a transformer together in Y and delta configuration. So on paper we use these three possible methods. The first method, the windings across the same limb of the transformer are shown with the help of a single phase transformer like this. This is across the first limb, second and third. Second method is we draw those windings in parallel. Okay, so these two windings here are across the same limb of the transformer core, and same is for the second and third. Third method was we draw the winding in parallel and we place the winding in such a way it appears to be in Y shape or in delta shape. For example, in this first situation we can see winding orientation is in such a way that it look like a Y connection. Okay, but remember, still the windings on two sides across the same limb of the transformer are shown in parallel. For example, here this winding on one side of the transformer is across the same limb of the transformer core as this winding, because both have been drawn in parallel. So this is really very important concept when you are going to draw the diagram on paper, because question will be asked from the student to draw the connection diagram of a three-phase transformer for a particular vector group. So remember, don't forget to put your winding in this manner, otherwise you will not be able to get the credit of your drawing. Now if we look at the last configuration here we have tried to connect the winding in Y and delta formation. Although it has been shown in Y and delta formation, but the orientation of these winding is still in such a way that the windings across the same limb of the transformer core have been shown in parallel. For example, these two are across the same limb of the transformer core, these two are across the same limb, these two are across the same limb of the transformer core. So this is important concept when you want to draw the schematic or connection diagram of the transformer on paper. Everywhere in literature you will find this thing. Let me draw the few connections here. For example, we want to connect the transformer in YY configuration. So this first configuration can be used to do that. Connect the non-dotted ends with each other. And here are the three terminals for A, B and C. Same is the case on the other side. Connect the non-dotted end with each other. That will make a neutral point or star point. And these are the three terminals for the three phases A, B, C. Okay. Now current here, which is flowing into the dotted end on one side, will produce its replica on the other side, which is flowing out of the dotted end. These two are exactly in phase with each other. Same is case over here, and same is for the third phase. Okay. In the same way, for example, we want to connect the winding in Y delta configuration in second situation, or you can say delta delta configuration. So it is simple. Dotted end with the non-dotted end, dotted end of second winding with the non-dotted of the third, and dotted end of the third with the non-dotted end of the first. This is the delta connection. In the same way, we can connect the windings here on the other side of the transformer to make a delta. Okay. Now the current here within the delta that is flowing towards the dotted end will be in phase with the current that is flowing out of the dotted end in the winding on the other side. Same is true for the second phase and for third phase. Okay. As we can see here, these three currents are exactly in phase. The current which is flowing here in these lines, although these currents has a phase difference with corresponding delta phase currents, but these line current will also be in phase with the line currents that are flowing on the other side in this given direction. When the phase current will join together to make a line current, so these line currents which are flowing away from the delta on this side will be in phase with the line current which is flowing towards the delta in above winding. Same is the case, these two are already connected with each other. So if we call this terminal A, remember on the other side the same phase terminal will be A, that is this terminal is A. Here this terminal is B, and corresponding terminal over here this will be B, and here this is C, this terminal will be C. Now we can see both are Y. Here the order of phases is BAC, corresponding order on the other side is ABC. The current which is flowing in phase B is in phase with this current. This A will be in phase with this current, and this current in phase C will be in phase with this current. In this way we have developed this delta. Now this Y. Now in this Y delta connection, things are a bit more complex. because there are two methods to draw or to connect these windings in delta. I have shown one method over here. Let me redraw the three phases and show you what is a second method to draw the delta. Let's say these are the polarity markings. Delta can also be made in this way by connecting the dotted end over here for phase 2 with the non-dotted end of phase 1, dotted end of phase 3 with the non-dotted end of phase 2, and then dotted end of phase 1 with the non-dotted end of phase 3. This is the second way to make a delta. So there is a difference between these deltas which are same and this delta which is different from the above two. So we will discuss what is the difference between these two delta in next slides. But at this stage, I just want to show you how to make the connection on paper and how to draw the winding. Next, we see a Y-Y transformer connection in further detail. In this diagram, you can see we have used two methods to draw the winding configuration. One in which the winding placement and orientation is similar to that the type of connection, that is why the winding appears to be connected in Y, and other is we have shown the pair of winding across each limb in the form of a single phase transformers, and then we have made a Y connection on high side and a Y connection on the low side. For high side we use these polarity markings H1, H2, H3, H0. On low side we use these polarity marking X1, X2, X3 and X0. Now this current IA, which is flowing towards the dotted or reference and H1 on this high side, will be exactly in phase with this current I small a, which is flowing out of the dotted or reference and X1 from the low voltage side. Same is the case here. This current is in phase with this one. This current is in phase with this one. Here this neutral current which is going back is in phase with this neutral current which is flowing towards the neutral if neutral connection is available. And if we summarize the result, here is a summary. The two side currents will be equal in per unit in magnitude and phase angle. But if we consider the system international unit, their magnitude will have a difference according to the turn ratio of the transformer, but there will be no phase difference. So phasor diagram shows this thing over here. The two side currents are in phase, corresponding currents are in phase with each other. Next is a delta-delta transformer connection. So here we have used the two side winding to make a delta, and delta have been made in such a way that both deltas are similar to each other. Means here, if we look at this first winding, we have connected this dotted end H1 with the non-dotted end of last winding H2. Now same is the configuration of the delta on the other side, low voltage side. Here we can see deltas are connected on the low voltage side in the same configuration. If this is the case, then the line currents here IA, IB and IC will be exactly in phase with the line currents here which are flowing out of the delta on the low voltage side, and here is a summary. Two side currents will be exactly in phase, and we can verify it from here with the help of phasor diagram. And same is the situation from this diagram. Now if we look at the orientation, here the sequence of phases is CAB. On the other hand, we are getting A, B, C. Top one is C. So that is assigned according to the position of these windings, because this one is in parallel with this one. Here this winding is in parallel with this winding. Their point of connection is C over here, so that should be C over here. Okay. Now here this winding and these two windings are in parallel here with these two Z and X. This point is A here, and it must be A here as well, so that is A. So this marking is very important, because if the assignment of phase identifier ABC or 1, 2, 3 that is not properly marked, then diagram will not show the required result of phase. You can say the similarity of phase or phase difference among the two sides. Now here we discuss this important concept of phase shift in delta Y transformer. We have just seen that in case of a delta, there could be a phase difference between delta phase and the line current. Now first we will explore what will be the phase difference between a delta current and its corresponding line current. Here I will take the two examples, and in parallel I will develop the two diagrams. Let's in the form of transformers. Here are the three windings. Let's say the high side or the primary side is connected in Y configuration. Here is the polarity marking. It is easy to mention with the help of the dot, and the dot on the other side is like this, and we can call it, this is A, B and C. So corresponding current that will induce on the other side, if we say these are the directions of current on the high side, current on the low side will induce in this direction, which are in phase their counterpart. But if we connect the windings on the low voltage side in delta in this manner, by connecting the non-reference end of first winding to the dotted end of the second, non-dotted of the first with the dotted of the third, then dotted end of the first with the non-dotted end of the third. This is first point, second point and the third point. These are the corresponding currents IA, IB and IC. So second way to draw the delta, let's suppose the first winding is in Y. I will only draw the second winding just to save the time. I have skipped the first winding, the high voltage side, that is in Y. So second way is connect the dotted end of the first with the non-dotted end of the second winding like this, then the dotted end of the second with the non-dotted end of third, that will be second terminal, and then dotted end of the third with the non-dotted end of the first like this. And these three terminals are phase A, phase B and phase C, and these are individual phase currents in delta that will be in phase with the corresponding current on the Y side. So here I will use an identifier as well. If this is phase A, B and C, we can call this current phase A delta current, an additional subscript to mention that that is inside the delta. So this current will become phase B delta and this current will become phase C delta. If I show you the relationship between the currents IA, IB and IC here and these internal delta currents, so here is a relation. IA current in per unit magnitude will be equal to IA delta, IB will be equal to IB delta, IC is equal to IC delta. And same is true here. If I compare these three currents with the corresponding internal delta currents, IB delta, IC delta, these will be in phase. Now let's see what is the relationship between the line currents on delta side and line currents on the Y side. In order to see that relationship, we will have to take the help from the phasor diagram. If we assume that the phase sequence is ABC, phase sequence, if there are only two possible phase sequences in three phase, first one is ABC and second phase sequence possible is ACB. So what is mean by the phase sequence? In this phase sequence, B will lag behind A, C will lag behind B. In the second phase sequence, the second phase will lead the first phase and the third phase will lead the second phase, and similarly the first phase will lead the third phase. So there are only two possible phase sequence. Throughout this discussion, we will assume that we are using this phase sequence. Mean first phase if taken as a reference, second phase, this is the first phase, second phase will lag behind the first phase by 120 degree, and third phase will lag behind the second phase by 120 degree. If I draw the basic phases, so those phases will be, this is IA, IB and IC phasor, and the phase difference between them is 120 degree. This is IA delta, IB delta and IC delta. And from here, through these three equations, the position of the three phases on Y side will be exactly same as these phasors on the delta side within the delta. Now if we look at what is the relationship between this delta current IA delta and the line current IA, here in this delta we can analyze at this node. This IA delta is flowing towards the node, and here downward this current is IC delta. So here we can write the relationship between line current on delta side is equal to IA delta, which is flowing towards this node, minus IC delta. Now if I implement this equation IA delta minus IC delta with the help of phasor diagram, so where is this IA delta? Here is that phasor IA delta. Where is this phasor minus IC delta? This is IC delta. It's 180 degree replica. Here this phasor is IC delta. So addition of these two by using head to tail rule will give us this line current. So we can add them together by adding this IA delta into it, and then the resultant phasor will be this one, which is IA, the line current. Now in the same way, if I draw the second IB current, that will be equal to, by analyzing at this node, current IB delta is flowing towards the node, so that is IB delta minus current IA delta is flowing away here, so that will become IA delta. Okay, so that will be achieved by subtracting IA delta from IB delta. So minus IA delta will be this phasor over here. When we add here the IB delta, so their vector sum will give us this phasor. Okay. Next, if we draw the third phase, calculate the third phase, IC will be equal to IC delta. Here at this node, IC is flowing towards the node, and this IB delta is flowing away from the node, IB delta. So on the diagram, here is a minus IB delta, addition of IC delta and minus IB delta by using head to tail rule. Here is this IB delta. When we add them together, so this will be the phase IC, line IC. This is IB. Now here in this phasor diagram, the solid green color phasors, these phasors represents the line currents on this delta side. And now if we compare these line currents with the corresponding phase currents, here we can see line currents are lagging behind corresponding phase currents by an angle. We shortly observe what will be that angle. And line currents have a magnitude greater than corresponding phase current. So that increase in magnitude is by this factor under root 3. And now let's analyze what is this angle. Here you can see the angle between these two phases was 120 degree. When we have taken minus C delta on this side, this total angle will become 60 degree. And here this line current phasor is exactly in between these two phasor, delta phasors, Because why this is exactly in the middle? Because the length of these two phasor is exactly same. So due to this reason, this angle will become 30 degree. Same is true for the other. It means the line current is greater than the phase current by a factor of under root 3 and lagging behind the corresponding phase current by an angle of 30 degree. So if we now write the relationship between two side line current, so for this situation, the first one, it will become IA, the line current on the Y side is equal to, what about the other side? That will be, we are not going to mention the increase in magnitude. If we assume that currents are in per unit, so we can write it them in per unit as it is. So that will become I small a with an angle. So what will be that angle? If we assume that I capital A is a reference, with respect to that I small a is lagging behind that. So it means we will have to add an angle of 30 degree A here. It means in this phase A, on delta side, if we add a 30 degree angle, then it will become in phase with the high side. So this is the relationship between them. Similarly, B current will be IB angle 30 degree. Similarly, C current will be IC angle 30 degree. Now two side line currents are not in phase as it was the case with the two side internal phase currents. So this is due to the delta connection. And if we compare the line currents here IA, B, C with corresponding delta currents, same phase difference exists over there as well. So I can replace these subscripts A, B, C with corresponding A delta, B delta and C delta. Results are same exactly in this situation as well, because here is a relationship between these delta currents and the Y side line currents. So that is the phase shift introduced by this delta. If we discuss the same scenario for the second nature of the delta, where we have connected delta in such a way that we have subtracted for the first phase the current IA delta and IB delta. For second phase, we have subtracted current IB delta and IC, and for third, we have subtracted current IA delta from IC. So what will be the difference? Here, let me draw the phasor diagram again. Before going into the detail of that, let's summarize here what was our result. Line currents lag behind delta phase currents by 30 degree. Here, this is our conclusion about this delta. Now let's discuss what will be the relation between the line currents and phase current over here in this delta. Again, I will use the same sequence ABC. This is phase A, phase B and phase C. We can call it IA delta, IB delta and IC delta. Remember, these three currents IABC will be exactly in phase with these within the delta currents. So this angle will be 120 degree, 120 and 120 degree. Now the first current over here IA, this is IA. IA mathematically is equal to IA delta minus, here this current which is flowing downward is traced back to the second phase, that is IB delta. If we implement this equation on the phasor diagram, here is IA delta as it is, the minus of IB delta is this negative 180 degree replica of IB delta, so that will be minus IB delta. Now we have IA delta and minus IB delta, that is simply the addition of these two vectors by using head to tail rule. Here is the sum of these two, and this is current IA, the line current on the delta side. Now look at the magnitude of this, that is under root 3 times greater than IA delta. And if we look at the phase difference between them, here line current is leading the corresponding phase current by 30 degree, and that would be true for second phase B, that is IB delta minus IC delta from this node, downward current is traced back to the third phase IC. So if we draw that phasor will be in this direction. Again here it is leading the corresponding phase current by 30, and the third IC is equal to IC delta minus IA delta. Here this IC will be here leading corresponding current by 30 degree. So now these red color solid phasors are displaced by from each other by 120 degree, and these are the line currents. But if we compare their phase angle with respect to corresponding delta phase angles, so these phasors are now leading. So this delta, if we summarize the results here, line currents lead the delta phase current by 30 degree. So now these type of delta has their own names. This delta where the line currents lags behind the corresponding phase current is known as lagging delta, and this delta where line currents are leading the phase current is known as leading delta. Now due to this connection of delta in lagging delta or leading delta, we have seen there will be now a phase difference between the line currents of two sides of a power transformer which has a delta Y winding. Now question is, which side quantity will lead or lag? It all depends upon the delta connection. If delta is connected in leading delta, then line current on delta side will lead. If delta is connected in lagging delta formation, delta side line currents will lag behind the Y side currents. So it all depends upon the delta. Now this is important to remember how you will decide. It is very easy manner to remember it with the help of this phasor diagram. Now if we look at this delta, we were subtracting a current. For example, for the first phase, we were subtracting this IC delta from IA delta. We were subtracting a leading current from the lagging current. So resultant is a lagging delta. Here we were subtracting, here you can see a lagging current from a corresponding leading current. So result is a leading delta. So in this manner you can remember this will be obtained by taking difference of A minus C, B minus A and C minus B. If the difference of current has been taken in this manner, so that is a lagging delta, and if difference has been taken in this manner, A minus B, B minus C and C minus A, so that is our leading delta. So here this is our lagging delta. We have explored this phase difference with respect to the currents. Same result exists for the voltage. No need to verify, because in order to verify the voltage we will have to move from delta to Y side. We have to consider the voltage of delta side as a reference and then explore the Y side. So same result exists. In case of this arrangement where the delta was lagging delta, the Y side voltages will also lead the corresponding line to line voltage on delta side. And here in this configuration, when delta is the leading, Y side voltage, line to line voltage will lag behind corresponding line to line voltage on delta side. So result exists in the same way for the voltage as we have seen for the current. We have discussed for the current here, so that discussion can be extended for the voltage as well. I hope now you understand what is the reason between delta Y transformer phase shift on two sides. That is due to the delta connection, because delta phase and delta line currents are not in phase with each other. Next is why there is a phase difference between two sides, because delta has a phase difference, so that phase difference will also appear on the two sides of the transformer. Next question, whether Y side quantities will lead or delta side quantities will lead, it all depends upon the delta. Delta can be connected in leading or lagging formation. If delta is in leading delta, then delta side quantities will lead. If delta is connected in lagging formation, then delta side line currents will lag behind the Y. There are two standards that will describe this phase shift in delta Y transformers. In power system, that phase shift will be either plus 30 degree or minus 30 degree. But in transformer for many other applications, this phase difference can be other than 30 degree plus minus. It could be 60 degree or even greater than that. All type of phase shifts can be achieved, but in power transformers only this phase will be either plus 30 degree or minus 30 degree. Now the first standard is IEEE standard and ANSI standard, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, and their corresponding private standard maintaining body is American National Standard Institute, and second standard is IEC, International Electrotechnical Commission, IC standard. So here, according to the first standard, IEEE, they define the phase shift of a delta Y transformer in power system in such a way that the high side quantities will always lead corresponding low side quantities in power system by 30 degree. They define the phase difference between delta Y transformer two side quantities by this simple rule. High side will lead low voltage side by 30 degree. That lead exists in voltages as well as in currents. So that lead exists between phase voltages and between the line voltage of two sides. Similarly, between the phase currents, between the line currents of the two sides. And that is true only for this phase sequence A, B, C. I mean the second phase is lagging behind the first phase and third phase is lagging behind the second phase. So this is how phase angle is defined. Now question is how it is possible, because we have seen that the phase shift depends upon delta, not on high and low voltage side. Then how this IEEE will manage to maintain this standard? It is very simple. For example, let's say this is high voltage side, this is low voltage side, and transformer connection is like this, delta Y. In order to achieve this phase shift, make this delta leading. So it will make high side quantity to lead. But if in a transformer high side is in Y and low side is in delta, simply make this delta lagging delta. So in this way, again high side quantity will lead the corresponding low side quantity by 30 degree. Next is IEC standard. This IEC standard give us a bit more freedom about the phase shift, no compulsion which side, high side or low side will lead or lag, but that will be described with the help of a vector group. So this is a method to describe the phase shift on two sides of a delta Y transformer in IEC standard. So vector group is a method of describing the winding configuration and difference in phase angle between high voltage and low voltage side of the transformer. So here is that notation that is known as vector group. Here are the two letters that describe the connection of the winding. D stand for delta and Y stand for Y. The first letter will respond to the high voltage side. If high voltage side is connected in delta, so first letter of this vector group will be capital D. If high voltage side is connected in Y, then this first letter will be capital Y. Okay. Next comes the second letter in small case, and that will respond to the low voltage side winding connection configuration. In this particular example, high side is connected in delta, low side is connected in Y. So this third, that is N, stand for neutral. If neutral is accessible externally, means neutral terminal is coming out of the transformer tank and terminal is available at the top, then we write this N. If neutral is there but we don't have access to the neutral, we omit this N. No need to write this N. So that stands for neutral is available and accessible. Then here, this is the number at the end of this notation that describes the position of phasor of low voltage side with respect to phasor of high voltage side. Then how this number describes this thing? Here is that method. If we look at this clock, here is the 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 11. So there are 12 digits. Total 360 degrees has been divided into 12 small angles. If we divide 360 with the 12, that will become 30 degrees. So it means between two adjacent numbers on that clock, we have 30-degree phase difference. So now how to write this last number to describe the phase difference? That will be in such a way that we will put the high voltage side, whatever is the high voltage side, along the 12 here, and the position of low voltage side vector will be with respect to high side. If low voltage side is lagging behind the high side by 30-degree, so this will be the position of low voltage vector, and we write here 1. If low voltage side is leading with respect to the high voltage side by 30-degree, this will be the position of low voltage side. So that will become 1 1. In power system transformer, only these two angles are possible. Either if we have here 1 or 11, that describes whether our low voltage side is lagging or leading with respect to the high side respectively. Now if, for example, if low voltage side has a phase difference of 60-degree with respect to the high side and that is lagging, it means with respect to the high side phasor here across 12, this will be the position of low voltage side. So here we write 2. So in this way, this number at the end will describe the position of low voltage side vector with respect to the high side if high side are placed across the 12. So that will be a number on the clock. Here different phase angle have been shown over here: 30-degree lag, 30-degree lead, no phase shift 0, both are across the same, and here we have a phase shift of 180-degree. Okay, in this way phase shift will be described. Now let's see how we will connect the transformer winding to implement this vector group. According to that, high voltage side will be delta, low voltage side will be in Y, neutral will be accessible, and then Y phasor is lagging behind the delta by 30-degree. It means that this delta should be a leading delta. And leading delta means we will have to connect the connection in such a way we will take this difference IA minus IB, IB minus IC, and IC minus IA. Similarly for voltage, that will be VA minus VB, VB minus VC, VC minus VA. Here is this delta Y transformer having the same vector group we have seen in the previous slide, and you can see here the connections of delta on high side. This is high side, that's why we are using capital subscript for high side and small subscript for the low side. High voltage side, here you can see the first terminal, that is the difference of A, this is IA, and the other terminal is B here. So current is in this direction, this is IB, and downward is IA. So at this point, this current I capital A is equal to minus IB. So that will result in a leading line current. IA will lead the corresponding phase current IA by 30-degree, and this IA will be exactly in phase with this one, and when it will come out of the Y, so that will remain same as it is, because Y connection does not produce any phase difference in current. It produces phase shift in voltages, line and line to line voltages. And same is here for B and C, and this is what we get here as a result. Now you have already studied this thing in your previous classes, that the line current will be under root 3 times greater than the phase current, and if you want to convert a phase value into a line value, you just multiply the magnitude with under root 3. Okay, remember this multiplication with under root 3 is only true if the three phasors are balanced. If phasors are not balanced, then this is the only method use of these formulas to calculate the line quantities from the phase quantities. We will have to move to the basics, and it is true that the line quantity is under root 3 times greater than the phase quantity only if and only if we have perfectly balanced three currents. Next vector group is YD1. How do we implement this YD1? Y side will be high voltage side, delta side will be the low voltage side, and delta side is lagging behind the Y by 30-degree. It means now delta will be a lagging delta that would be achieved by taking the difference of A and C, B and A, C and B. Now from this diagram you can see here this is the Y side on high voltage side and here delta connection on low voltage side. If I put a dot over here at this node, current IA is flowing towards this node and this current downward is IC. So difference of IA and IC will be IA. So here this IA is IA minus IC. These capital notations over here just shows that this current is perfectly in phase with this one if we ignore the difference in magnitude due to the transformation ratio. Now let's see the vector groups of all the transformer in our power system, because here we use the vector group to mention the phase difference between delta Y transformer rather of using the IEEE or ANSI standard. In America they use that standard and transformers are designed in such a way that high side quantities always lead the corresponding low side quantities by 30 degrees. I have taken a pictorial view of the power system starting from a generating station, and all the transformers that exist in our system are present here in this diagram. Here the first transformer, that is a generating transformer. Remember its low voltage side will always be delta, high side will be Y grounded, and here is the vector group. It will be YD and 1. Capital N shows that this neutral is on high side. So high side is Y, low side is delta, and low side is lagging behind high side by 30 degrees. This is the vector group. Next, once voltage has been stepped up to the transmission level, next transformer is transmission substation, which step down the voltage from the transmission to the another transmission level or to the secondary transmission level, means 500 to 220 or 220 to 132. So that is the transmission substation. So these transformers are having this vector group Y, Y and 0. Mean neutrals are accessible on both sides and that will be grounded. So this is the configuration of winding on two sides. Neutrals are grounded and both windings are Y and there is no phase shift on two sides. So that is the vector group for this transformer, Y, Y and 0. Remember this transformer will be an auto transformer. Next, this is a sub-transmission line network in our system that will be 132 kilovolt. Then comes distribution substation. This transformer has a vector group of DY N1. Here high voltage side will be delta, low voltage side will be Y, and Y side will lag behind the high side by 30 degree. So it means this delta should be in leading formation. That should be a leading delta in order to implement this vector group. After that, these are the distribution feeders, 11 kilovolt in our system. So here are the pole mounting three-phase transformers, three-phase transformer over here, here, over here. So now what will be the vector group of these last distribution transformers? That is DYN11. In my last lecture where I have shown you the WAPDA standards, you will see that the vector group of those transformer was mentioned at DY N1. N stands for neutral is accessible. Neutral is normally connected to the pole to make it ground. And 11 stands for the Y side leads the delta by 30 degree. It means this delta should be a lagging delta. In this way, this is the vector group of all the transformers present in power system. Another question I want to address here, this transformer here may have the other possible vector group as well, DYN11, because it doesn't make any difference. All the generators are only connected after this transformer with each other. There is no direct connection of the generators with each other. So second vector group is also possible for the generators. So there is no fixed rule for the vector group for transformer over there at generating station. Next, here I have drawn the same diagram with the help of the one line symbols. This is the one line diagram of that power system, and these are different transformers starting from generating, substation, distribution, and distribution substation power transformer and the distribution transformer. And here are the vector groups that I have shown you in the previous slide as well. So this generating station, substation, For example, this transformer has vector group YD and 1. So this may have YD and 1. So if this is a situation, then these two generators, their phase will be 60-degree out from each other. But the other side here, these 2 points will be exactly in sync with each other. There will be no phase difference between these two currents and voltages which are connected with each other. But generator may have a phase difference there, an angle of 60 degree, because here delta is leading, means generator is leading by 30 degree here with respect to this, and here the generator is lagging by behind the high side by 30 degree. So if we consider this as reference, it is plus 30 degree. Here this generator is at minus 30 degree, and net result is the total difference between these two generator phase angle will be 60 degree. That doesn't make any difference. Next we discuss neutral grounding of distribution transformer. What is the purpose to connect the neutral of low voltage side of distribution transformer? Here we can see this is a distribution transformer where the high side 11 kilovolt side is connected in delta and low voltage side is connected in Y formation, and the voltage level is 415 volt. And here the vector group for this transformer is high side is delta, low side is Y, neutral is accessible, and then we have the phase angle in such a way that Y side leads the delta side by 30 degrees. So here we make the low voltage side in leading position with respect to high by 30 degrees. So on the utilization voltage level, these are the 4 wires, 3 for phases, 1 for neutral, that will serve the area. Normally the commercial consumer and residential consumer are being supplied through this system. This is known as a 3-phase 4-wire system. So those consumer which has demand above 5 kilowatt will be supplied through 3-phase supply, and consumer having demand less than 5 kilowatt will be supplied between a phase and neutral. So potential between a phase and neutral is 230 volt and between two lines is 415 volt. So purpose of this neutral grounding here at distribution transformer level is completely different as compared to the purpose of this neutral grounding everywhere in the power system. What is the purpose of this neutral grounding? In simple word, it is for safety purpose, safety of human beings. How this neutral grounding serves this purpose of safety? In order to understand, let's for the time being assume there is no neutral connection. So neutral connection can be assumed that is not present here. So let's say this connection does not exist. Okay. Now let's say the consumer 1 is being supplied through phase C and neutral, so that will be the connection. So one wire will be the phase, other will be the neutral. So here let's mark it neutral. Here this will be the phase. So let's call it, this is customer 1 or consumer number 1. Second consumer is being supplied from, let's say, phase B and neutral. So this is the supply. Here is the phase and the neutral. If neutral is not ground, this transformer will provide isolation between primary high voltage and secondary low voltage side, and due to this isolation, now if anyone at customer 1 or customer 2 location is in contact with either one of phase or neutral one at a time, so that person or human being will not experience any shock at all. Reason, because there is no path for the flow of current. For example, if someone here at this customer 1 location is standing on the ground and that person is in contact with the phase conductor, there is no path for the flow of current. So this person will not experience any shock or any damage due to the new opening of this neutral. And same is the case if this person is in contact with the neutral terminal, because there is no path for the flow of current, there is no way the voltage can appear between his hand and foot, so that person is safe. Same is true for a person at customer 2 location. If this person is in contact with either phase or neutral, so that person will not experience any voltage across his hand and foot. Now question is, we are connecting neutral to the ground for the safety of human, and here we have seen that humans are safe when they are in contact with phase or neutral when neutral is ungrounded. So here is the problem. Let's say these two customers who are doing maintenance on their electrical system, knowing that the system neutral is ungrounded, so whether they are in contact with the phase or neutral, there will be no shock at all, no problem, no hazard. But unfortunately, they have started maintenance at their different locations at the same time. What happened in that situation? This person was in contact with the phase. As soon as this person will be in contact with this phase conductor, now look what happens. Starting from this point, phase B, up to this customer hand, through his body, foot, through the foot of this person, body, hand, up to the phase C. So it means now these two persons are in series between line to line voltages. It means from this point up to this point 415 volt will appear. So mean both will simultaneously experience a shock, electric shock, and they don't know what had happened because just before that moment they were in contact with the phase conductor and nothing was happening. And suddenly this situation has occurred that both were simultaneously in contact with the phase conductor, they have experienced a shock, and that voltage will be 415 volt, a lethal voltage for both of them. So what had happened? Because they were confident that nothing is going to happen if they will be in contact with either phase terminal or neutral terminal because system is ungrounded. And this confidence have resulted in the simultaneous shock to both the persons. In the same way, if the second person, instead of being making contact with the phase conductor, if it has a contact with the neutral conductor, the same problem will occur again. As soon as this situation will occur, then potential will occur between this point, the point of contact of customer 1, this person 1 with the phase, and the point of contact of this person 2 with the neutral. 230 volt full line to neutral voltage will appear. Again that voltage will appear across their series combination, and both of them will experience an electrical shock. No matter whether this person is in contact with a neutral or phase, it is experiencing a shock. So this is a problem. Now why they have experienced this shock? Because they were confident nothing is going to happen if they will be in contact with either neutral or phase because system is ungrounded. But that doesn't happen if someone else at different location connected to same secondary of the distribution transformer is in contact with the phase or neutral, that problem will occur. Now in order to make sure that this person who is working or maintaining the electrical system is safe from that electric shock, the utility companies deliberately connect this neutral with the ground. So what has changed by connecting this neutral to the ground? Now these two conductor phase and neutral will be considered as live and ground. It means now everyone knows that if somebody will be in contact with the live wire, that person will get or experience a shock. And if someone will be in contact with a neutral, nothing is going to happen because neutral is at same potential of ground as this person who is in contact with that neutral terminal. Now due to this reason, everyone who will be working on the electrical system or doing maintenance now take the proper precautions, take the safety measures before starting the maintenance work on that electrical system. So that will ensure the human safety. Now this chance that two person at two different locations connected on the same secondary of the distribution transformer will be in contact with the conductors at the same time, that is not very common incident to happen. But what is very common, let's say there was an appliance here at customer 2 location which was being supplied with the help of phase and neutral, and due to some insulation damage the casing or the body of this appliance was in contact with the phase, and this appliance was on ground. It could be a washing machine, a pumping motor, a refrigerator which has a ground connection as well as its body gets short circuited with the phase. So this will result the same situation that someone is in contact with the conductor at this location. If at customer one location someone will be in contact with the phase or neutral, that person is going to experience a shock either with phase or neutral because due to a faulty insulation at some other house or some other location which is connected to the same distribution transformer secondary side. And this is very common situation in distribution system. So to make sure the human safety, utilities connect the neutral with the ground, and now everyone knows that there is a live wire, there is a grounded wire, neutral wire. If someone will be in contact with the live, that person will experience a shock. So that's why everyone who is going to do any maintenance on the electrical system will take proper precaution and safety measures. So this is the purpose of neutral grounding. It is for the safety of human beings.